In this video I'll show how to automate the Raritan command line to add roles and users to a Raritan PDU. We've got a Raritan PDU here, and if we look at the users defined on it, we currently have the built-in user admin and a user for me. And if we look at the roles, we've got just the two standard roles, the admin role and the operator role. Now I've got a Linux box here with some software that I've written. Now first thing I'll show you is a file called demo-roles.txt. It's just a text file that contains definitions of each role that I want added onto the PDU. And each role we have a name, and then after that we've got the description here, and for each role we've got the various attributes that are associated with each of those roles. Similarly, we have a file called demo users, and just expand up the terminal there. And here we've got columns where we have the username, then first name and second name, a location. This isn't actually using this demo. We've got a phone number, an email address, and then the roles which I want defined for that particular user. So each user has got, so the first user we got the webcam and event log role. Other users maybe just have an SNMP role. So with all of those defined, I just need to, I've got a shell script that kicks everything off and runs all of the other ancillary programs called roles and users.sh, and I supply the name of a PDU that I want all these roles and users defined on. Press return and let it get on with it. So the first thing it does, it logs in and it issues the command lines to create all of those roles, and it logs back in again, and now it's doing all the command lines necessary to set up each user. Now, in addition to the details that we saw in the demo-users.txt file, we're also adding in the user's secure shell public key, which is taken from their public key file on this Linux box. Now, while that's running, let's just hop onto the PDU again. Let's look at the roles. We're seeing that those are all defined up. That's nice. Let's go back to the terminal session. It's working away here. The last time I timed this, it took just over a minute to set up those roles and all 30 users, which is pretty fast compared to doing it manually through a web interface, I'm sure you'll appreciate. So we'll just wait for this to finish, and then we shall check its work. There we go, all done. So now if we go back onto the PDU, let's look at the users now. Remember that there were just two users there before. Now we've got all of the added users added on. Let's take a look at one of those added users. So we can see the username, full name is in there, the phone number, email address, and also their secure shell public key in here. Now let's just prove that the secure shell public key works for that user. So I will log into my Linux box as that user. And issue a secure shell connection using username bcox@px2study. And because that user has got their secure shell public key defined on the PDU, I can log in without issuing a password. So that works as well, which is very handy. So we'll just log out of there. Now, you might say, well, that's great using the command line. Why don't you use the Raritan API to do all of that? Well, yes, you can, and actually I have done. You can see a demonstration of me doing exactly the same thing using the Raritan API. That's on my YouTube channel. Just search YouTube for Andy Cranston and look for the very first YouTube video that I actually put on my channel. And you'll see a very similar demonstration, but it uses the Raritan API. If you have any questions, if you'd like to find out more details about how this is actually done, then my contact details are up on the screen. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, thank you for watching.